This morning I watched a video by a guy called Logan Rando about the importance of trimming your carpeting plants. So I've decided to be brave and I'm going to trim this right back. This is mostly Eleocharis mini, a little bit of Monte Carlo, and I did a 4-week dry start with the Eleocharis, the hairgrass. And then it's been growing in for about 2 months, I think, and it's the first time I've grown a carpet, so I really like it, and I'm actually dreading chopping it off. I'm also worried it's going to make an absolute mess of the tank, so I think it should all float to the surface and then I can net it out. There's my otter, settled in well. So I've got quite a bit of duckweed in here and a few other floating plants, so I'm going to have to take all of that out, take out some of these twigs that I've put in, give the grass a trim, and he says don't be too gentle with it, be quite severe. So I'm going to hack it down, she says, and then yeah, bit of a water change and put everything back. It's quite a good time to do it because the orange shrimp aren't buried yet, and a water change might encourage a bit of action in this tank. So I'll stick you on my new tripod and we'll see how it goes. Bit nervous. Off you get. Oh God. I'm going to chop a few of these stems. They look a right mess. Oh, not even attached. I think some of these are just floating in the water column. Loads of Monte Carlo in here, just floating around. I need that for the next scape I'm doing, so that's great. I'm just going to hack these off, and then you can see the dragonstone again. I'm quite brutal with these. I'm not really that keen on this plant. I don't think it looks great. Okay, that's cleared it up a little bit. I'm just going to wash my hands really well, because I'm going to have to put my hand in the water. Just make sure there's no chemicals or anything going into the tank, and then I'll just give that a quick trim. I haven't got curved scissors, unfortunately, so it's going to be a case of just using a small pair of scissors that I've got. just do the best I can. So many fish and snails and shrimp. I don't really want to cut this thick grass that's here because I really like it. The fact that it's a bit longer. Any bits of Monte Carlo that get cut could be put back in, I guess. I think this would be a lot easier with curved scissors. But there you go, you do what you can. Hopefully this will encourage a bit bushier growth. I'd encourage it to spread out a bit more. I only put 3 pots in here and it's done alright. Camp. Hello. Stay away, please. Right, I haven't done that much, but it's a start. I'm going to try and fish out all these bits now. There's a lot of snails in there, which I don't want to take out. Maybe I should have vacuumed this out. Okay, top back up. So it's a bit murky now. And put the little trees back in. Should probably look at the videos to see where they were last time, but it doesn't really matter if they go in somewhere else. This means it'll be different every time. No, I'm not going to stay down there. The carpet is quite thick because the roots of the grass don't want me to push the trees in. Oh, that is the bottom of the tank. It's trying to float for some reason. It has actually made quite a lot of mess, as I thought it would. I can't say that I enjoyed the process. It's not something I'm going to want to do very often. Well, in you go. But I didn't hate it. It's quite time consuming. And very fiddly. This one go this side, I don't know. Snails are absolutely everywhere. I'm going to put the Monte Carlo back in the water column to float until I need it, which will be quite soon. Put through this side this time. So they are in a different position. It doesn't matter, as long as it looks okay. I think if I had a better pair of scissors, and also if I'd set up the gravel vac, this might have gone a bit better, but oh, there goes my light. At the end of the day, it's a very small tank and it's pretty fiddly to do anything much with. But hopefully that hasn't disturbed the shrimp too much. The water that's gone in is a bit cooler, so might encourage a little bit of molting. I have found a molt while I was doing this, but only one. There was a time when I couldn't find any floating plants in any of the local shops, and I went into Fermoy's near Newton Abbot, and they didn't have any, but they did have a tiny bit of duckweed in one of their sumps, and I said, could I have a bit of that? So he gave me a teaspoonful, and as suspected, it's now taken over every tank. I might give some to my friend to feed to her goldfish. It's just a pain because it gets everywhere, but I don't mind the look of it, and it is good for the tanks. But I'm trying not to get any of it in the community tank. That's the only one I'm trying to keep clean. But I did notice there were just a few little heads in there when I looked just the other day. God, in this bucket there are hundreds of snails that I've got to try and now get back into the tank. I might put them into the cold water tub. This moss ball is falling apart. Not really sure where to put it. It doesn't look very natural wherever it goes. I'm guessing it's got quite a bit of bacteria. I might keep that little piece out and put that in the bowl in the kitchen. Actually no, they've got one. Might put this in the yellow shrimp tank. Right, and here's my big clump of Monte Carlo. It's got a lot of roots on it. It's right next to the light there, so it seems really happy. There's definitely more there than I started with. So when I do my new bonsai scape soon, I want lots of plants with tiny, tiny leaves because everything's on a really small scale in that tank. So the Monte Carlo will be brilliant, and I've also found a bit of glossostigma in one of my other tanks, also floating around. So I'm going to use that. And today I had some Physidens moss turn up in the post, which I've been very excited about, but it's not a very big piece, because the stuff is so expensive. So I'm hoping it will multiply quite quickly. I'll give it some light and some CO2. Well, when I first put it on the bonsai tree, I think it'll look a little bit sad, but this game is all about waiting, isn't it? Something which I've got to learn to do. Right, I think that's it. You don't need to watch me fishing out snails for the next half an hour. There we go. I need to move that moss ball because it looks daft right in the middle there. I've got the worst of it out. And if nothing else, this tank's had a little bit of a water change now. So come on, shrimp, get breeding please, because I need you to catch up with the other tank. That's one more job ticked off.